Hi, Elle Ingalls here at elleingalls.com, pressure-free.com, and I'm curious to know what books you're reading so far in 2020. It's like I never left college. I usually have several books going at the same time. So right now I have 3 business books, 2 textbooks, and a biography that I'm reading, some of which are right on my bedstand. I like to read just before bed. And then some I have over on the dining room table. I like old-fashioned books, so I like to be able to hold them. And I wanted to give you a tip tonight. If you read a lot of nonfiction and you read a lot of things for learning, which I have always been doing. In fact, this book right here, I read, when did it first come out? I read it when it first came out. So that was 2007, I think. Back in 2007, 2008, somewhere in there, I read this book, 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And my son wanted me to get the new edition. So now there's a new edition. It is expanded and updated. And we're reading it at the same time and doing all the exercises. So if you get a book like this, it has, it has the text and then it has exercises to do. And so many times, we kind of blow off the exercises. So having an accountability partner, I actually have a couple tips for you tonight. Having an accountability partner when you're reading a book and you really want to get a lot out of it, that can be super helpful. So we're actually reading it together and doing the notes together. I have another accountability partner, my new friend Angela. She's an insurance agent here in Grand Rapids. She and I are in a book club and we're reading Story Brand. And we're doing that together as well and meeting extra so that we can really get a lot out of it. Another thing that I do, and this is an old journal of mine, but I've kept gold journals since I was about 18. And when I read books, I like to take a lot of notes on them. I'm a kinesthetic learner. I learn in a lot of different ways, and probably you do too. So I like to write. I like to write. And that really solidifies for me. So one thing that I do, it's a cool tip. If you use this tip, it could be so helpful in your future, especially if you end up writing a book of your own. I have a table of contents in the beginning. So a little table of contents, just handwritten, where I write down, like if what was some of my books here? I read something by Eben Pagan or did some sort of courses of his. So I took notes about it and the notes are right in here. When I wrote my first ebook for Pressure Free back in 2010, I had, I had all my gold journals with me. We were on vacation when I wrote that book with my husband. He edited it for me. And I was able to look up my notes that I had taken and be able to refer to the page number and everything because everything was right in here. So keeping a table of contents at the beginning of any sort of journal where you're taking notes, and this is my goal journal too, so it'll have goals for this, goals for that, all right in here in the table of contents. So that's kind of fun. Anyway, I'm real curious about what you're reading in 2020. I'm reading Story Brand. I'm reading a book by John DeMartini, and I'm reading The 4-Hour Workweek, renewing this. And another thing I want to share is that it's cool to come back to a book you may have read. I read this back in 2007, 12 years ago, or 13 years ago. And to be reading it now and look at all of the things I actually did because I really absorbed this book and took notes on it. And I've used so many of the things that I learned in here. They're already incorporated in my life. So now it's like taking it to the next level. And it's so subtle, I didn't even realize I was doing so much of what I had learned in this book and countless others. So one of my clients recently said, how do you know all this? And I'm a voracious reader and note taker, and I love to absorb information and put it into action and practice. So by putting it into action and practice, I truly learn it. And I think that's why for my clients, when I'm working with them, they gain so much. It's because it's like I'm distilling information from so many different sources that I've already done the work on. So when I bring it together into Pressure Free to create a certain tool or create an opportunity for someone to have some growth happen, it's very comprehensive. And yet at the same time, it's very distilled. So I hope that's helpful. I'm here in my sweats tonight, and just no makeup, just giving you a little pressure-free moment. And again, I like to physically hold books. Some people prefer to do it online. So I'm curious too, are you a screen reader or do you like to hold books? I'm on the screen so much for my business and coaching all over the world that I prefer to read my books in hard form in the old way. So, and I like to hold books too. But I'm curious what you like to do. So, because of course my books are downloadable. They just come out to you on a screen. Someday, hopefully I will have a really beautiful published hardcover book. That's a goal too. So I'm wishing you a great pressure-free night on this Saturday night, and may tomorrow be amazing for you. It's Sunday, so hopefully it'll be a beautiful Sunday for you. And I want to thank Randy and Amy and all the people who came on tonight. Thank you so much if you're watching. And Randy says she loves books. Oh, I love that. Beautiful. You like the old ones like me? I really appreciate you if you're watching the replay here. Feel free to share this out. If you have someone who reads a lot but doesn't retain a lot, my little idea about taking notes and keeping a table of contents could be really helpful. I also like to, I really kind of picky. I pick out kind of cool books. I thought this one was kind of cool. For the year that I put that together, this was my journal. So looking for pretty books. I like pretty books and I like pretty pens. So on that note, have a great pressure-free night. I'm so glad that you were able to be a part of this, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.